Welcome back, everybody, to the Ranger 363 V Restoration. This is part 5 of the series, and today we're going to be painting the trailer. We're now moving from disassembling and tearing everything down, and we're going to start building everything back up from the bottom up. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to prime the trailer, I'm using etching primer from Rust-Oleum. That's the kind of green color that you're seeing in these videos. And then here on the axle and the leaf springs, I'm putting down a base layer of white enamel, also from Rust-Oleum, just to give it a little bit of protection in case I don't get in there with the spray bed liner. I'm painting the trailer in steps or in sections. I start by sanding the area with a sanding block, and then I will clean it with some acetone, then spray the etching primer. The only issue that I had is that the acetone would take up the etching primer because the etching primer wasn't really cured. So if I was to do this again, I would sand the whole trailer, then clean it, then spray it. After letting the etching primer cure for a couple days, I got my friend Ike back over here to help me do some heavy lifting. We had to turn the trailer around because it wouldn't fit in the garage standing up. We turned it around, lifted it up, and then we held it with the engine hoist. I would not recommend doing this with 2 people. I would not recommend doing this at all. It was just way too much work, and the trailer's way too heavy for someone to do this in their garage. The reason that we lifted the trailer up like this is so that I could prime the bottom side of the trailer and then paint it more easily. So by lifting it up, I was able to remove any of the paint that was left over, put a prime coat down, and get it ready to spray on the bed liner. Now that the trailer's been primed and it's been sitting for a couple of days drying, it's now time to paint. I decided to go with this custom coat bed liner. I went with bright white, the 1.5 gallon version. What it comes with is it comes with your tint, which you can get multiple colors, any color that you can think of. It comes with the actual bed liner spray, a can of hardener, and the spray gun to spray it with. And the reason why I decided to go with bed liner, guys, is because I am absolutely terrible at painting. I have no patience to do it, and I wanted something that was easy, something that was forgiving, and something that was able to cover up any mistakes I might have as a novice bed line sprayer, since I've never done this before. And I think that this checked all 3 of those boxes, and it came out looking really, really good. And this was actually very user-friendly. And it started with the mixing. All you had to do is you had to open the large container, add the hardener, and then add the tint, shake it up for a minute, attach it to the spray gun, and you're ready to go. There was no measuring or anything, which is super nice for somebody like me because I just don't have any patience. And I did have some issues spraying this stuff, and it was all user error because I was so excited I didn't finish reading the instructions. I had my PSI up way too high at around 90, and it really needed to be around 50 to 60. And as a result of having it up way too high here at the beginning, I blew through 3 cans of this stuff and just spraying the axle in the bottom of the trailer. But when I lowered down the PSI, guess what? It lasted a lot longer. Who would have thought? So just if you guys use this stuff, make sure you read all the instructions through, have everything set up properly, and you'll be good to go. I decided to start with the axle at the bottom of the trailer because no one really sees it, and it gave me some time to kind of like dial everything in. And as you can see, I have no patience, so I did a terrible job of like prepping to do this. But it came out looking really, really good. I did have one area that I didn't like, so I just scraped it off, put some new etching primer down, and let it dry for a day or so, and was ready to go. I decided to roll the top and the sides, thinking that, oh, this will be easier. Wrong. It came out looking terrible. So I just ended up going back and spraying it. But what I did first is I just put a base layer of this stuff because I'd already opened the can, so I had nothing to, I had to use it. So after I rolled it out, I put a layer of spray down. And as you can see, guys, it came out looking really, really good. There were some areas that didn't get covered fully with the bed liner spray, so I went over those areas with a can of white enamel to cover up those areas, and it came out looking really good. I'm super happy with this stuff. So that's it for today. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week to build this trailer and get working on the boat. Until next week, guys. See you then.